Today, I'm going to be discussing the agents of socialization and correlating them with my life. Before I begin, let's discuss what socialization even means. Socialization is the process when people come to understand societal norms and expectations, to accept society's beliefs, and to be aware of societal values. In short, socialization helps people to learn to function successfully in their social worlds. We have two types of agents for socialization. Social group agents, which consist of family and peer groups, and institutional agents, which consist of school, workplaces, the government, religion, and mass media. Let's begin with family, considering that family is our first agent of socialization. Members of your family teach you all the things that you need to know, like eating, getting dressed, walking, morals, and things of that nature. For me, my mother and grandparents were primarily who taught me everything that I needed to know. They taught me how to eat, use utensils, dress appropriately, and speak. They are also really big advocates for family unity and instilled beliefs in me such as not going into the new year without your family being together and putting your family first always. I also have a younger brother named Stephen and a younger sister named Caitlin, who between everyone involved, I learned how to share, take turns, take care of others rather than myself, and to be protective. Also, just a fun fact, the last 4 generations of females in my family all use the name Marie in our middle names, including my own children, because that was what was instilled with us from our great-grandparents. I myself am also a mother to 3 beautiful children. I get to be on the other end now and instill values and traditions that were taught to me, to my own as well. A lot of my parenting style is similar to how my mother raised me, but I certainly add my own things here and there. Such as, for example, growing up, we never had to sit together to eat at dinner, which is something I always wanted to do with my own children. So my kids and I try to make it a point to eat together if I'm not working. Our next agent of discussion is peer groups. Peer groups are made up of similar people in ages that generally share the same interests and values as you. My peers gave me an identity separate from my family's. As my family may have taught me how to dress, my peers allowed me to develop a taste for my own sense of style. When I was younger, my peers showed me what it was like to take turns and feel the feeling of fitting in. As I got older and developed lengthy friendships, my peers have influenced me in making a lot of good and even bad decisions. I've learned approval because of them and learned a lot of socialization and networking over the years. Schools are the beginning of our institutional agents list. Since we spend about 7 hours a day, 5 days a week there, they are also very impactful on our socialization growth. Not only do we meet a lot of our peers there, but we also practice teamwork, learn a schedule, and use textbooks. I went to Deposit Central School in New York. Our schedules were very strict and grades were really important. Not only did we have to pass our classes, but we had to pass regent exams as well. And if you passed the class but failed the regents, you had to retake the class. So I always strive for a good grade, and I think it's because of that. Work is another industrialized agent. Like school, your workplace can consume a lot of your time. I have waitressed between living in New York and Kentucky for 9 years. I've currently been at Colton's Steakhouse in Campbellsville for 7 of them. When I first moved here, it was hard for me to understand the Southern drawl, which complicated me taking orders. Now that I've become accustomed to that and even picked up a bit of a drawl myself, just a little bit, my workplace instilled in me punctuality and work ethic and financial gain for performance. Religion is where you can learn practices by formal institutions, teach people how to interact with a religion's material culture, and it's also important in family structure. Personally, my family is very animate on each member being baptized and the use of prayer daily. My family is also animate on being married inside of a church. Government is an underestimated role in socialization. The government provides us with law to obey, age restrictions on certain things, and even retirement funds for when we get older. Males also have to enlist in a roster for the military as well. The government for me was actively playing a role in my socialization when I started to become of age to drive and buy tobacco and adult drinks. I am now of age to have serious consequences for bad decisions, so I live a very straight edge life nowadays. The last agent to discuss is mass media, which informs us what is true, which is beliefs, what is important, which is values, and what is expected, which is norms. I think this impacts all of our lives a great deal. I know for me personally, I lived in upstate New York, so we lived in a rural area where houses were spaced apart. So when we could talk through the computer on things like AIM, MySpace, and now Facebook, my peer group got much larger and easily accessible. I was also able to talk to my biological father for the first time in 15 years. I also feel the pressure to maintain a certain image and stay more up to date on things got more intense for me, rather than how things used to be when they were old fashioned. Well, this concludes my presentation today, and I hope that you enjoyed.